Welcome back, everyone, to the GigaHub Weekly Show, where we talk about all the things that are important to us, but they may not be important to you.
Right.
Right. I don't know who any of you are yet. Yet.
That's right. All our 13 watchers or viewers or whatever.
Yeah. Happy New Year to the 13 watchers, by the way.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
It's not 2021, which means all our problems are gone, so that's nice.
Who watches the GigaHub?
Mike.
And the Watchman.
Mike and the Watchman.
That's right. Saturday Morning Watchman.
Oh, yeah. Which, by the way, you should check out.
It's great. Yeah, Google Saturday Morning Watchman. I think it's Dave.
YouTube it.
I think did it.
No, I don't remember what his name
it's the
is.
same guy that did the riff tracks, actually.
Yeah, the riff track opening, yeah. I think it's Harry Partridge. That's his name.
Is that it?
Harry Partridge,
okay.
Harry Partridge. Great channel, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, so happy 2021 to everybody.
Yep.
Hope everyone had a great holiday.
Yeah.
All our problems are not gone, so do not walk outside without a mask.
Right.
Without any kind of precaution, thinking it's okay. It's not.
Right.
But
Been a crazy week.
extremely crazy. But we're not here to talk about that stuff.
right.
We're here to take a break from those things.
Right.
Although you want to talk about it, we'll get into it.
No.
So here's what I thought.
No.
Before we get any further,
Right.
we do want to thank our sponsor, which is Cosmic Comics, who gives
Right.
us the awesome, fantastic space that we get to do our show in, as you can see. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Wow.
There you
Watch out, Vanna White.
go. Cosmic Comics, where all your cosmic fantasies come true.
Yeah.
Comic fantasies.
Cosmic fantasies?
Possibly.
Okay. Where all your comic fantasies come true. We are located in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. So if you ever find yourself here for any reason, come on down and see us. We have all kinds of beautiful, wonderful things: comics, shirts,
Yes.
action figures, statues, things. I mean, we talk about it all the time. What's in here? You should know by now.
Right.
Outlaw Energy.
Outlaw Energy
Outlaw
drink.
Energy,
Yeah.
they got them.
We're the only place.
Come get them. We're the only place you got Outlaw Energy.
And, follow us on Facebook and Instagram because we are starting to put back issues for sale that we will ship.
Yeah,
So-
and then you can go also onto the website.
Yeah, we're not shipping it, but yes.
But
we
I mean,
do have a website.
that way you can go to the website. You can get a taste of what it's like here.
That's right.
And then just sort of keep yourself posted on when they can ship comics to you.
That's right.
So, anyway,
Good.
come on down, Cosmic Comics. Wonderful place.
It is. I like it.
I want to live here. I'm going to live here.
In the shop?
Yeah.
Ah,
Just have all the books to read. It's fine.
that's true.
If it gets cold, I'll put a bunch in the middle and start a fire. Maybe like all the
Whoa.
Spawn #1s that you have around here. I'll just put them all in there. Give them some worth.
It's good. Make the ones left more valuable.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So we're all back from Christmas break. We're all back from New Year's break. And one of the
shifted our sound setup a little bit. As you notice, we don't have arms in its face. Tried to clean
those
things
arms.
up a bit.
Yeah. Trying to declutter.
Declutter,
Anyway,
right.
so Christmas Day was the premiere of the movie Wonder Woman 84 on HBO
Yes.
Max.
Yep.
Now Wonder Woman 1, everyone's seen that one, right?
I've seen it.
Yes, I've seen it twice.
BT dub spoilers, probably. Right? Are we just gonna do spoilers?
Yeah, well, yeah. If you haven't seen Wonder Woman 84,
Yeah.
we're definitely going to be talking about it. So, spoiler alert.
Yeah, so listen, click off, go see it, and then click back on. That counts as 2 views. So
That's true.
I appreciate it.
There you go.
So Wonder Woman comes out, Wonder Woman 84, the sequel to Wonder Woman.
Right.
On HBO Max, right? So let's get some initial thoughts. Just going into Wonder Woman 84 from the trailers and everything.
Let's really quickly, how did you feel about the first one?
Of the first one, I actually like the first one.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably it's the strongest DC movie that's come out.
Whatever that might be saying.
Yeah, no, I mean it definitely is, but like, and just even out of DC context, right? It's not a bad movie. Right. I enjoyed it. There was some bits, I think, but besides that, like it wasn't anything serious that take me away from.
How about you, Tony?
Second favorite DC Extended Universe movie. My number one favorite is Shazam still.
Oh, wow.
Shazam was pretty entertaining. I will say Shazam was pretty
Cool.
I like it for what it was. The ending could have been a little bit better because concerning some of the concept art that was like made for that movie, where the fight with Ares would have gone really, really different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And-
I do think. Do you think he looks funny? Ares because he's got the handlebar mustache and he's like an English gentleman.
It's Professor Lupin from Harry
it's
Potter.
Professor Lupin.
Yeah. Well, I gotta admit that Ares' plot twist did caught me off guard a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, well, I knew it obviously wasn't to be the generic villains because they were too cartoonish to be the main antagonists. But beside that, it's definitely a lot better than
Some of the others.
Batman vs Superman.
I did forget about Shazam. Was
I really like the first two acts. Third act, I thought was just, I don't know, it just wasn't very good. Which kind of goes into what you were saying, was the end is very lackluster. I mean, her revealing herself as Wonder Woman when she goes across the trenches is probably one of the stronger superhero scenes of any superhero.
Yeah.
And then after that, unfortunately, it was downhill pretty quick. Not that it was bad, it was just very meh. Very forgettable.
Recently, in Zack Snyder's Twitter, he released a photo of what was originally supposed to be shown in the scene in Batman vs Superman where Bruce is like looking through files and he sees a picture of Diana as Wonder Woman. And it's supposed to show a bit of what was supposed to be in the end of the first Wonder Woman movie. Basically, you see Diana carrying a bunch of heads with one hand. She's with the samurai and a native warrior and a British warrior and like different soldiers from different time periods. I'm like, okay, what happened?
Seems very Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Very dark and grim.
Yeah.
She came as an ambassador of goodwill. That goodwill, pain.
Pain, yeah, pain. The lesson is pain. You know what? We could spend a whole episode talking about the Zack Snyder cut. I personally don't care.
Justice League or
Yeah.
Wonder Woman?
Justice League.
Oh yeah, no, that's a whole nother
That's all.
episode.
Anyway,
Well, he was producer in '84.
so under Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah, so
That's because they still have to pay him. I don't
So
think
just
he was
like-
actually involved.
So what are initial thoughts on like the trailer? There was like, so much hype before this with the trailers
Right.
and like all the news and everything. Like just from that before you'd even seen it, like what were your thoughts?
It was hard to. I was kind of turned off. To be honest, the trailer turned me off, and one of the reasons was some of the things with Chris Pine's character Steve Trevor seemed really hokey and didn't make sense.
The trailer was very confusing.
And then, I think Wonder Woman 84, my first thought was like, oh, they just wanted an excuse to put her in a skimpier outfit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It was just like, okay.
Which skimpier outfit would that be?
The one she's wearing in 84. It is tighter and skimpier than
Really?
what she wore.
Oh,
in
I
Justice League.
honestly,
I know it's more colorful.
It's more colorful. It's tighter.
This is gonna sound weird coming from me. I didn't even notice.
Right?
Like it looked like the old costume, so I didn't even notice. But okay, the trailer just seemed
So
like
I was like, I didn't care.
the trailer was very confusing. Like
Right.
first of all, there's nothing in the trailer that let me know what was happening.
Right? Yeah. No.
Right, so all I could gather was like,
I mean, I love Kristen Wiig. So.
yeah, I have a Kristen Wiig too. We'll get to her in a second.
Right.
But yeah. So all I got from the trailer was Wonder Woman, 80s, Steve Trevor, and that was it.
Yeah, pretty much.
That was it. Like that's all I got.
Yeah,
But like
why-
I didn't know what.
Why
what,
is he here?
Yeah.
Why is he here?
Who is
Why
she,
does he look like?
Who's she fighting and why?
Right.
Yeah.
Why does she look like? Although I guess if you're a Wonder Woman fan, it would have made sense. Like if you know who that character was, they would have made sense.
The trailer did show off pretty much all the set pieces in the whole movie. Like, the fight
At
in
least
Washington,
parts of them. Yeah.
fight in Washington, fight in that island where Maxwell was communicating with everyone.
Right.
And all the chaotic scenes.
Okay. Yeah.
So like kind of a jumbled mess. Would you agree with
Yeah.
the trailer?
It was
I mean,
all flash.
I
no
mean-
I mean,
substance.
you saw it and
Which-
you like understood what was happening.
I did, and I like Blue Monday.
What's that?
That's some newfangled thing that the kids are into.
It's Blue Monday, or maybe that's a whole nother conversation.
Oh no, the song that was in a.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd feel really stupid if I've heard that song before I just didn't know what it was called. There's happened to me so many times.
Right.
Okay, so those are initial thoughts on Wonder
Yeah,
Woman.
which I guess is fine for a trailer because I think too many trailers show too much of the film.
Sure, but I think
Doomsday.
I think the problem was the trailer didn't show enough
Yeah, maybe.
to intrigue because all I saw was like Wonder Woman in the 80s. That's all it was. That's all I gathered from the trailer was Wonder Woman in the 80s. Steve
Yeah.
Trevor there again. And you don't know why.
And you don't know why.
Yeah, like it just seems odd. It's just he's in there like he was alive the whole time. Like there was no surprise
there
in the
was.
trailer.
I mean,
No, because
it did give the sense like he didn't know what was going on.
right, but in the trailer, right, like there's usually build up to where like, oh my gosh, Steve's alive, and this is a thing in the movie, right?
Right.
It just seems
Found
like
frozen in the
yeah,
Arctic. Wait, that's wrong, Steve.
wrong captain.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. It seemed confusing. Were you gonna watch it if I didn't make you watch it?
No, I actually watched it before we decided to do an episode.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
I saw it.
I had a chance.
I only watched it because of this episode.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I had a chance to watch it on HBO Max, so I was like, yeah, I'm at least give it a whirl.
Mhm.
Plus, I was hearing everybody talk trash about it, so I was like, I got to see what this.
I got to see it in theaters before watching it in HBO Max, which was the second time.
Okay.
So,
Very cool. So, okay, now let's get into
Let's get into
this movie.
why was Steve Trevor there?
Por qué Steve Trevor? That is the question I asked
gosh.
myself in my mind. Why
Because she
Steve
was
Trevor?
pining over Steve Trevor for 60 freaking years.
So-
That's
so-
why
so
60,
Let's
70
give
years,
a
something
real
like
quick
that.
synopsis. She's been around since the first movie, which is World War One.
Well, even before that, apparently.
Well, I mean, like she
was
was here in like
right.
America.
America.
Since World War One.
World War One, right? Yeah.
It is now the 80s. She has
Right.
now acclimated herself to America. And she faces off against Maxwell Lord.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Which is played by Pedro Pascal and
Right.
Kristen Wiig, who plays Cheetah.
Right.
Right.
She was
So,
actually
yeah.
good in it. At first I was like, she's Kristen Wiig. It seemed like an extension of
Yeah.
so many characters she's done.
She's like.
But later in the movie, I think, is where you got to see her.
Do we want to talk
do
about
more.
the negatives or the positives first? What do you want to get into first?
I
What do
don't
you
know.
feel like getting into? What's funner?
Well, let's
The negative, right?
let's,
Should we
Yeah.
just trash this movie?
Yeah.
Well, how about this? Let's give our overall feeling by the end of it.
Okay.
So I can start. I mean, maybe because so many people talk trash about it, I was entertained. I actually was like, that was all right. And the biggest reason why came early in the movie when the first 15 minutes or so, I was just like, this is really dumb. And then Diana makes a wish, and then her hair blows a little bit, and I'm like, oh, this is a movie about wishes. So really quick, I reeled in my expectations and reeled in my sense
this
of-
here's a movie about wishes.
So at that point, it's like, okay, you have to suspend a whole lot of disbelief.
Okay, before
So the tone started to make more sense.
before the wish sequence, what
Right.
did you think this was going to be?
I remember
Where were you mentally? Because it feels like
I remember thinking like, wow, they're really shifting gears on tone for the DC universe. And I almost feel like they should have just started over if they're going to change the overall tone of the universe this much. You know what I mean? That's what I
Sure.
was thinking.
Yeah.
I was like, "Is this kind of cheesy?" And I wasn't sure.
there's a difference between cheesy and bad.
Right.
So,
I
yeah.
wouldn't say it was bad. It
No,
just-
I'm
it had a
saying
certain
like compared
tone.
to the other DC movies that are just bad.
Yeah. This one certainly was going for a certain feeling, which was just really odd at first.
Right.
Until, like I said, at that moment, like, oh, it's a movie about wishes.
I just
Reel it in.
I'm just picturing you sitting in front of the couch going like, all right, let's watch this lo-fi, ultra realistic mess. And then you're like, oh,
I did watch the Fantastic Four, by the way. That was actually not as terrible as I was led to believe. But anyway, it wasn't good. But
Yeah. Okay, that's a whole other movie. That I'll have to sit down and watch
Okay,
that crap.
yeah, what did you?
Yeah, but then the wish sequence.
I kind of like how the wishes went up to a certain point. Like, I like how at first the wish seemed like something that, it was like something that the plot was demanding. For example, like Maxwell Lord, he made a wish with Simon Stagg, and all of a sudden, these guys coincidentally come and take him away, and he gets controlled. Like, okay, you could like plausibly see it happen because of plot conveniences until it doesn't. Wishes don't go full on magic until the walls start appearing out of nowhere. Like that's when you know that the wishes are legit magic.
Right. But how did you feel about it? How was your? We're gonna do that first.
How did I feel?
At the end, when the movie was over, your general feeling about it before we get into too many details.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't think I didn't think it was as good as the first one, or
No.
I mean, it's somewhere around the same league as before. I mean, named Birds of Prey, I guess, because Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey was terribly entertaining.
Yeah,
we did go see that.
There's things about that that really pissed me off, but it was really entertaining.
Yeah, I remember we went to see that. Yeah,
yeah.
It was good. So,
How about you? What was your general feeling when credits started rolling?
I didn't think it would.
Pre or post Linda Carter.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
So like okay, so we finished watching the movie, and like when it was over, I was like, okay, it's not bad.
Right.
It's not great. It's certainly not as good as the first one,
Right.
but it's not bad. And then Linda Carter showed up, and everything was great. No, yeah. I mean, I just kind of walked away from it like it was a good movie. Well, not a good movie. Like it was entertaining. It was an entertaining movie, and it's just one of those movies that I'm probably not gonna watch again. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna go get on DVD. I have Wonder Woman, the first one, DVD.
Oh, okay.
I'm probably not gonna get this one on DVD. You know what I mean? Like it was okay.
I don't know.
Like first. Like if I was hanging out with someone, they were like, "You want to watch Wonder Woman 84?" I haven't seen it yet. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
sure.
All right.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go look for it.
Star Wars
like
Holiday
myself.
Special? Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good fun.
Yeah, right. All right. There were things thematically I thought were very interesting and well done. The way certain things tied together, which is where I think you were stepping out to.
Yeah.
I did like that a lot. There were certain aspects of the plot that just the way that it tied together, the way the wishes were lies, and I like that. I felt that this movie didn't try to talk down to the audience, really.
Mm.
Now, with that being said, certainly everything in the movie was done with broad strokes. You know what I mean?
Sure,
like,
yeah.
There were very simple, direct points, but it didn't tell you every little thing that was happening, which I know some people had a problem with. Like,
Actually, at one certain point, they flat out explain, oh, it's like in the part with the book where Diana finds out that it comes from the God of Lies. Like, she just flat out say monkey's paw, and if you know anything about that story, you finally get the general idea of what the wishes do.
But even that, I mean, didn't like have to lay it out for you. I mean, even early in the movie, certain parts didn't make sense. Like she makes her wish, and like her hair kind of blows a little bit. You know what I mean? But it's like every wish that gets made, it's just more powerful, more direct, more immediate. And that grew throughout the movie. I kind of liked that. I thought without actually telling us that's what was going on.
Yeah,
I actually liked that. I appreciated that in the movie.
Right.
That was kind of cool. Things like that.
I think it was like that because they made it so broad. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it does. I think you're right. Everything didn't really need an explanation because it was everything pretty much right there for you to figure out. Do you think that adds to it, or that took away from it?
I think part of the reason why it was like that is probably because of running time and editing.
It is a 2-hour long movie, you guys.
Because modern movies tend to like to spoon feed you everything, and this one didn't. And I think they probably cut some of those scenes out just for time, which is unfortunate. I don't know if that's the case or not, but I'm glad that they did, or that it didn't spoon feed you every little detail about certain stuff.
Right.
That you didn't really know how the shows work, even though it kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Although at the moment where I stopped, like I wasn't like, okay, so. I said that I was like really interested in how the wishes work and how it gradually progressed from like, okay, there's something that could happen. The plot really demanded it to, holy crap, this is actual magic.
Just flat out, craziness. Yeah.
The part where I just that I lost interest in how the wishes work was when Diana renounced her wish. I'm like, wait, you can renounce your wish? What? That just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't mind that per se because I mean, the idea of the wish itself is a trap. Mm-hmm. So it's something very hard to renounce because now you have something
that you want,
but
you lose something.
Yeah,
which is
so. What are you going to do? It probably wouldn't be that hard to renounce. I mean, that easy to renounce.
I was honestly,
especially when you're Kristen Wiig's character and she became much more selfish and self-centered. It'd be hard for her to renounce that wish.
Right.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what I liked about it. Like it didn't. Toward the end, right? Obviously, everyone's making wishes, and Pedro Pascal's character of Maxwell Lord is growing more powerful.
Yeah.
Like, I love the ending that she didn't have to fight some hulking version
I did
of
appreciate
Pedro
that.
Pascal
I get tired
or something.
Of that. Yeah,
so
tired of
so that was
Gotta
good.
have a big fight.
You gotta she's got to fight some big old hoss or something. Like, that's what I was expecting. Like, there's gonna be. But like, I was honestly surprised that everyone renounced their wish. Like,
Yeah,
let's.
it was cheesy. It was hokey.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, like, let's be honest. If that was real life, how many people would actually renounce the wish?
Right.
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 Like,
Yeah.
Like, so if you suspended disbelief by the end, you're fine. Like,
Right.
I was there by the end, I was like, that's very nice of them to think that we would all just renounce our wish.
And what
Right.
about the people who are probably still dead from the wishes? Like,
Yeah. I mean, is it a Wishmaster situation? Like, I wish such and such never. What is it in Wishmaster? I wish such and such never broke the statue, which reversed everything that happened. Was it that kind of scenario where everybody renounced and just undid everything, so people were alive again, or those saps?
Oh no, they're
Were
dead.
just dead.
They're just dead. I
Just
mean,
dead.
because Trevor's character was gone.
Oh, that's well, he would have been gone because it reversed when she renounced it. Reversed.
That's what I'm saying.
But he was never alive. I'm talking about people that died in the course of
the wish.
a wish.
Oh, I see.
You know,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
Don't think about it. Dude, look, we just had a nice, feel good ending. Do you want to think about that right now?
right. That's fair.
Look, here's
That's
Linda
fair.
Carter. Here's Linda Carter.
Here's Linda Carter. Speaking of Linda Carter, no, we're not.
Yeah.
We're not getting into
No?
the things that really annoyed
You
me.
sure?
First.
Linda
Not-
Carter annoyed you?
No, she did not.
Okay.
It was something linked to her character. But
Because
anyway,
you can get the hell out if this is the way the
I have
conversation's going.
nothing bad to say about Linda Carter.
Sound right?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Where were we?
Oh, good. You want to talk about the good?
Yeah.
Let's talk about all the good
anything
stuff.
else that good?
Head-
I actually did like Kristen Wiig's character and how she progressed. There was an argument that she couldn't have beat Wonder Woman in that time they fought in the White House because she didn't have her training. But the argument also stands that she wished that she wanted to be like Diana,
Right.
Doesn't include her training and experience. And
It
all
would
those
have
things.
to.
Not to mention, by that point, she was a hell of a lot stronger and more powerful than Diana.
The
Because
movie the movie's 2 hours plus long.
It's very long.
We're not going to tack on another hour just to
Right.
watch her train to beat Diana.
Right.
So I think that's fine. I'm okay with that. Pedro Pascal
Pedro
Yes,
Pascal was
Pedro
awesome.
Pascal's performance.
stole the movie.
That's where you were going. Yeah.
Stole the movie.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, this movie had 2 Wonder Women in it.
Right.
2, and
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal stole the movie. I mean, he was fantastic. He was so good. I love the whole what did he say? The
Life is good, but it can be better.
yeah, exactly. Such like what's
He was
the
good.
movie? What is the movie with like
And that's been memed on so much, and that just tells you how good he is.
Right.
if it's so
it's meme worthy?
yeah, it's meme worthy, imitationable.
What's the name of the movie that Alec Baldwin's in? Coffees for Closers. What's it called?
Oh, Glengarry.
Glengarry and Glen Ross. Like that's what I was
Coffee
thinking.
is
Like,
for
he's
closers.
just like an '80s Wolf of Wall Street,
Right.
like kind of cheesy type. I think he played that so well.
He
And
was good,
just
yeah.
fantastic. He's very like emotional. Like this character should have just been like
Yeah.
some weird throwaway character.
Yeah.
And like
He was
he
not-
knocked it out.
Yeah,
He knocked it out. He's fantastic.
He gave that character a lot
Yeah.
of vulnerability. That
Mhm.
Even
would
though
not, would
yeah.
not have been there if it was not.
yeah,
there.
even though his powers weren't exactly like how they were in the
Yeah.
comics.
Yeah, exactly.
where in comics, he's basically evil Professor X.
Right.
This one, he's more sympathetic, and it works given how his power works and what he desires.
Right.
I thought she was gonna kill him.
Yeah.
So like in the comics,
Yeah.
he mind controls Superman, and the only way to keep him from using Superman to take over the world is she has to kill Maxwell or she snaps his neck. So I was like, he's not gonna be able to get to him. Like she's not gonna be able to talk to him. She's gonna have to snap his neck. We're gonna watch.
This movie was
Wonder Woman
way
snap
too
his
warm
neck.
and fuzzy to do that.
Can you imagine though? Like, you watch the movie from the beginning, right? It's all like colorful and
Right.
like good and like wonderful and cheesy, and then at the end, she just straight up snaps a guy's neck and just walks away, and then credits.
Yikes.
No music, just credits.
Wow.
Kind of like.
And then it cuts to Linda Carter just sort of looking at the camera, going, "What happened?"
I forgot that one movie where the credits have like no sound at all that plays like after like something horrific happens. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Like you hear the person scream, and then it just cuts to black, and the credits roll, and you hear no sound after. I'm like, yeah, that just happened in the end.
Or hear me out. Hear me. Maybe we can convince them to like edit it this way for DVD, right?
Right.
She can't talk to Maxwell Lord, right? She can't talk him down. She snaps his neck. Everything goes quiet. She just walks away. Fade to black. You get the theme from Curb Your Enthusiasm. And then the credits.
Right. I like it.
You're
Like
welcome. Someone make that. If you're watching, you can make that. Pedro Pascal was great.
yeah.
You want to talk about Kristen Wiig?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I love her. I mean,
I love Kristen Wiig.
Yeah.
I think she's hilarious.
you know,
It was very hard for me to take her seriously past her alter ego.
yeah, and at first I didn't think she was pulling it off. It felt too much like a SNL character.
That's what my girlfriend said. The
At
same
first.
thing. Yeah.
I think later on in the movie, though, I remember forgetting that,
Mhm.
and then at some point I was like, oh, okay. Now that she's kind of getting self-centered and evil, she was actually really good.
You were into the Cheetah thing?
I mean, once she became Cheetah, it was just a CGI thing.
Well, I mean, like when she was, like when she was
When she
gaining
became
confidence to
self-centered,
become the Cheetah.
yeah, I had forgotten about. Like I actually got lost in the character. I
Mm.
forgot that it was Kristen Wiig, which is when it reminded myself of that. I was like, oh, okay, she is doing it. She can
Right.
do it. Once she got away from that, which she's played in so many movies and
It's,
SNL.
it's
skits.
odd because
Yeah.
like I saw her in Skeleton Twins.
Yeah.
And she was great in that.
Yeah.
Right? But like when the alter ego at first
Yeah.
was fine, like, oh, this is classic Kristen Wiig, just
Right,
like
yeah,
a weirdo, nervous person.
Right.
And that was fine. And then she started to sort of like go into like the darker character.
Right.
And I was like I was a little put off by it.
Oh, really?
In a way, in a sense of like, it didn't feel authentic. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it felt odd. It felt odd to watch her be like, not dramatic, like a super villain. It felt weird to have her be a super villain.
You know, I mean, Cheetah's not exactly Class A.
Okay,
villain
well, I didn't say
material
she was
anyway.
Class A. I just said she was a super villain.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would never count Cheetah among the greats.
No, not at all. Not at all. But that's like,
Yeah.
you ask DC, that's her like
Right,
main
yeah,
rivals for some reason.
I feel like
right?
it's kind of a trope to have like a nerdy character all of a sudden become dark and gritty out of nowhere.
Yeah, but to be fair, that's her wheelhouse too. I mean, that's her strength.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you think about that or about Kristen Wiig's performance in general?
Oh, I like how like when she starts discovering that she is starting to have powers. Like I like that gradual change, especially like when the guy starts harassing her and how she handles them versus how Diana just knocks him down. It's
Right.
like real different.
Yeah, she definitely did start to take a more personal vendetta, I guess. He was suffering for all shitty men everywhere, which I don't care.
Right.
But it did get a little dark there.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Honestly, she did a great job.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that she did. It just it took me out of it just to have her turn into like this comic booky dark character, not like a human character that's like
Yeah.
going into like a dark place, but going into like a dark villain, like comic book villain type role. Yeah.
I guess I can get that.
But I love her. I think she's great. You know, I was honestly surprised when I heard she was in the movie as Cheetah,
Yeah.
and I was excited to see like, what she was gonna do, and then like I saw it and I was like, it's just okay. You know, it's not anything outstanding.
Right.
I don't think so.
Well, I mean, it wasn't that kind of movie.
No.
Look, kid, this isn't that kind of picture.
I legit thought she was gonna kill Cheetah when she was electrocuted. I thought she had died right there. And
Yeah.
then I realized, oh wait, she's as durable as Wonder Woman. What?
Well, I don't know if she really still had those powers by then. I don't even know how that worked out. I don't know. Not the same Cheetah. Well, it's not that Cheetah could ever take Wonder Woman, ever.
Right.
Ever. So how about Gal Gadot's performance?
She didn't blow me away. It's the same performance which is fine. It's consistent. She's Wonder Woman. Like,
Yeah, right.
it's nothing like exciting or like. There was no.
It's like Captain America. You only need Chris Evans to look good.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same
Yeah.
thing. She just needs to look
Like-
good as
and
Wonder
she,
Woman.
and she does. Yeah,
Right.
no, of course. But
Right.
and she does a good job.
Right.
But yeah, like there was nothing new here.
Right.
Honestly, I think that was the reason why Pedro Pascal just
Yeah.
sort of swept over
Oh,
everything.
yeah.
Although-
He was
Well, the
great.
bad guys.
Yeah.
I did like seeing a little bit of her selfish side because just like in Superman 2, Spider-Man 2, maybe a little bit with Dark Knight. There's a point where the superhero loses his power or motivation to,
Yeah,
that's a be a hero, and then she just wants to be with Steve Trevor, sort of like how Peter wants to have a normal life and live in MJ type of thing.
Yeah, that's fair. That was a good aspect to see of the character, definitely.
Yeah.
I like the I don't know if you noticed the sort of dynamic switch, right? Where she was the fish out of water coming to what was it, England in World War One when she was in the first movie.
Yeah.
So she goes to England and she's like complete outsider.
Right.
She doesn't know how anything works. She doesn't know what anything is.
Yeah, right.
And then like here we are in the 80s, and now it's like the other way around. Like once Steve
Trevor's
Trevor
like,
comes in,
"What's
he's just like,
going on?"
yeah, what's happening? I'm surprised his brain didn't explode. Can you imagine finding someone from World War One and bringing them?
I have a point to make. Being a teenager in the 80s. And a young man in the 80s.
I was born in the 80s.
I don't remember fanny packs. Fanny packs did not hit prominence till much later.
Yeah.
I don't
90s
remember.
are like a 90s
I
thing.
don't remember. I mean, I think they were around, but I don't remember people wearing them with any regularity until into the early 90s.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just a personal nitpick, I guess.
I wish they didn't cut some
Like,
scenes out. I know that there was some scenes where Steve Trevor was trying slap bracelets and like putting on jelly shoes and
Yeah?
no, there isn't. I'm just kidding.
Oh, jellies. Yeah.
What
Jellies.
It's from the 80s.
Yeah,
It's
it's
all
all
like
really crappy plastic sandals.
yeah.
They have no cushion,
Yeah.
So
and your feet stick in them only after like an hour.
they're like Crocs.
No,
No.
Crocs are actually comfortable. They're just horrendously ugly.
To where the other
Um,
ones look
jellies-
trendy, but they're terribly uncomfortable.
Terrible. They're terrible. Yeah, they're
They look like they're just made of
just
soft
like
plastic.
when you get home, Google jelly sandals. They were garbage. They
Okay.
had no cushion. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. The Big Lebowski wears them, I guess.
Oh, okay. now
Anyway, we're getting off
Yeah.
track. So how about the bad stuff? Are we ready to get into bad stuff?
Ooh, I love the bad stuff because the
The
bad
bad
stuff's fun to talk about.
Okay.
You want to start? Go ahead, start on the bad stuff.
Yeah. She's pining over this dude for 60 some odd years? Come on. Now granted, I get it. I know people that
Screw
were
her for having
well,
feelings.
I know people that were pissed at the movie because I think I heard somebody complain that it's tone deaf because she's a woman, she shouldn't need a man. But this isn't the case of her boyfriend breaking up with her. I mean, this is like the love of her life. He was a good dude. He wasn't like a crappy dude.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
60 years, that's a little much. I mean, if the movie took place in the 20s, maybe.
I mean,
But
no, I get that,
60
but like,
years.
but
60
yeah, no,
some odd
I'm with
years.
you. She needs to get over it, girlfriend. That was
Right.
60 years
Oh,
ago.
I mean,
If she can't be in
she
your
doesn't-
life, then he doesn't deserve you at all.
Right.
I admit
She doesn't age, so maybe time works a little differently in her head and her heart.
Oh,
But
stop.
still,
Yeah. To her, it's like a blink of
60
an eye. Yeah.
freaking years.
I gotta admit, I chuckled just a little bit in the moment where she says, "Oh, I'll never love again." I'm like,
Please just look at 12
really? You will never love again?
Well,
After
I mean-
all that build up,
Right.
honestly, like something like that I could see. I mean, if you think about it, she never had time to be like a teenager. So like I could
True,
see the
that's
feeling of
true.
like I'll never love
Yeah.
again. I feel like after that she should have like jumped on a bed,
It's
like
very,
face down.
Very James Bond. First woman he wanted to marry was a double agent. He had to kill her. Second, the woman he married was murdered. That he actually married was murdered before their honeymoon.
Yeah, but he didn't talk about them in other movies.
So he was done. He was done. That
Yeah.
was it.
Well, she's dead. So what am I supposed to do? Pine after her for 60 years?
oh yeah, and there was like some
60 years,
Potential-
Diana. 60 years.
there was some potential that was like never really shown that I wish they
7
did
years.
show. Yeah, with
7
the whole time jump. Basically, like in the beginning you see pictures of Diana with Etta Candy, who probably passed away at this point.
Yeah, she was an old woman. I
And
think,
like,
in the
and you see
ones.
Diana with like a bunch of other soldiers.
Oh yeah, they did show her with what's her name, Lucy Davis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, and I'm
Old
thinking,
Lucy.
wow, you could have had like this Highlander thing where
Right.
it would have shown that being immortal sucks.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a downside to it. It's not all sunshine and lollipops.
Right. I have a question about the script, and maybe you can explain it to me
Okay.
better than I could figure it out at the time.
Now, I did want to watch it a second time, but that 2.5 hour, that's a negative, by the way. 2.5 hour runtime was
It's
daunting.
2.5 hours.
I was like, I couldn't do I kept thinking, I'll watch it this weekend, and then this weekend got here, and I was like,
Why is
I-
it 2.5 hours? They need to be 2.5
yeah,
hours.
it's a little long.
I can't watch
Anyway, go ahead.
anything for 2.5 hours.
I can.
Like, I have to watch, like I watch Seven Samurai.
I was
in
gonna say-
bits. I can't sit down
Oh,
and watch
really?
the whole
Really?
thing. No, I can't watch the.
watch that
I have
movie
to take
from beginning to
I
end.
have to take a break.
Yeah.
I have to take a break. So 2.5 hours. This. Oh, right. So maybe you can explain this to me, right? Did it seem like because it was called Wonder Woman 84, because it was set in the 80s, they were sort of following, like they wrote like this very meta script where the script seemed like it was written in the 80s to be put on. Like there was so many bits in there where I was just, this feels like someone wrote a script in the 80s, it got locked away, someone found it and was like, hell yes, let's make this movie. No need to change anything. You know what I mean?
I think there was certainly some 80s specific camera
There's a lot
shots
of like tropes
used.
in there, though.
Yeah. But I think I said this right away, I think the movie, it feels like an animated movie or a comic book.
Yeah.
And I think that was intentional.
Right.
I think it would have been received better as an animated movie because I don't think it's any less cheesy than the 2010 Wonder Woman animated film, which is a great film.
Oh,
So
yeah.
is that the first one?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
That's one
Okay.
And they had a stupid invisible jet in that, too.
Yeah.
It made even less sense.
It didn't even explain it.
Yeah, it was just like,
Yeah.
here, we built this for your boyfriend, basically. Her mom's like, we built this for your boyfriend. It can't be seen. Like, what?
Yeah, and this is back when Wonder Woman's origin was still, she was a mud baby.
right.
Yeah, she was
Not a damn god.
Made
sculpted
from
by
a,
mud.
like Adam himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so-
The flying scene, holy crap. Not only was it not exciting, it was long.
yeah.
When she was learning to fly, it was not like, oh my gosh, she's flying. It's, okay, she's flying. And then it went on for 10 minutes. Maybe not 10 minutes, I'm exaggerating, obviously, but it went on for too long, I think.
I think if you're not us,
Sure.
that scene probably felt fine. I
Right.
think for us, with years of Dragon Ball Z and
We're
Superman,
used to people
and
flying in our media.
it's like for somebody who's so into pop culture. I mean, we saw Godzilla fly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Are you saying?
I think for the average viewer, it's probably like, oh, this is cool. She's learning how to fly. For us, it's like, oh my god, get
hurry
on
up.
with
Yeah,
it.
just fly there already.
The music that plays, I recognize it. It's the Surface of the Sun. It's been in almost, I don't know, last 50 flying scenes in the last few years.
I feel like the song that should have played was the theme from Last American Hero.
Believe
If
it or
not,
not,
I'm walking on air.
Oh yeah, and speaking of reused soundtracks, Beautiful Lie from Batman vs Superman plays when Diana has like Pedro Pascal with lasso and she's trying to convince him.
Yeah, well, there's always a lot of.
And I sort of like that track and that scene a bit more than the scene that was used in Batman vs Superman because of the context behind it. Like, yeah, it makes more sense how this is a more tragic thing that's going on than Batman trying to kill Superman.
Right.
Yeah, so the flies. I guess what you're saying is that we're so dated
Yes.
that we can't even enjoy the power and magnificence that is flight
of her learning to fly.
of her learning
To us,
to
it's
fly.
just like, yeah, we know you can fly.
It's
Come
hurry
on.
up.
Come on, sister,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not in a freaking jet, but hurry.
Right.
Shazam
That-
did- wait, what?
No, go ahead. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, Shazam did a better job at like having a character learn how to fly than Wonder Woman.
Certainly
Yeah.
was very entertaining.
Yeah.
That goes into the other problem I had, which was like the CG.
Some of the CG.
Some of the CG was bad, and I feel like the fight with Cheetah
CGI cheetah.
took place. Yeah, that looked weird too.
Yeah,
Took
it's
place
bad.
at night to probably to cover up
Oh yeah.
like the bad CGI.
Kind of like Godzilla 2014 and
Mm.
2019.
Thank you, Tony. Yes, I concur.
She'd have looked like
She looked like a CGI monstrosity.
she looked like she walked off the set of Cats.
or Van Helsing.
Yeah, or Van Helsing.
I like that movie.
I'm gonna go with Cats. I'm going with Cats. Because Cat is a way.
Well, she is a cat.
Because believe it or not, Cats is way
I'm
worse
walking on
than
air. I
Van
never
Helsing.
thought I could. Yeah, sorry.
That's what I sing when I'm nervous or when I'm like really distraught. Like I'll lock myself in a closet. Believe it or not.
Although, I do know one day scene that is obviously green screen,
Yeah.
and it was, okay, it was cheesy as hell when I first saw it. Basically, it's when they're in Cairo, and it's it's a chase scene, right?
Right.
And there's a part where she's running around like this, like
Yeah, it looks weird.
It looked like she was running on
I know
air,
what
and
you're
it looked
talking about,
cheesy.
yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like
That's always hard to do. I don't think it's very rarely is that ever done well.
maybe it could be a homage to '66 Batman when
Yeah.
he's running in the streets, Robin.
Even the weird even Civil War with the scene where they're running looks odd. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like running directly in front of the camera.
Right.
Just saying, we can't put a treadmill under these people. You know what I mean? Like we
Something.
can't make a big treadmill, a cosmic
Actually,
treadmill.
No, because of the page she was running, and maybe because she has super speed, I guess. It reminds me of the way M11 was running in Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. It was like,
You know what she looked like? She looked like she was on a treadmill that was going too fast.
I love your constant hosts of different music played to that.
oh, thank you, my friend does that.
She did look like
So
she was on a
like,
treadmill,
running, and someone just turned it.
Okay. You know what really bothered me about that whole scene? The same scene.
Do
the
tell.
cheetah scene.
Do
Actually,
tell.
not the running scene. The cheetah
Which
scene.
one were they
The
fighting
fight.
at the end? Okay.
Fight. That golden armor. Now, thematically, from a storytelling standpoint, and the way it worked into that scene, I actually liked it quite a bit.
Mm.
However,
The look of the armor is this weird?
the total Chekhov's gun, no, not the look of it, but how it was used in that fight scene made a lot of sense, but it was a huge failure of basically Chekhov's gun.
Sure.
They tried to introduce it. How they introduced it really made no sense, right?
She just had it.
Right, pretty
It
much.
didn't explain
Oh
where
yeah,
she
this
actually-
other Wonder Woman had it.
This goddess had it.
Right.
Yeah, she was like some other
yeah.
goddess. Yeah.
And so she has it, and how it worked in the fight scene basically is, and this is the part I did like how it was used thematically, was she kept trying to defend herself with it, and it just wasn't doing any good. Actually, it was putting her. She was losing initiative in the fight, and she was on the defensive constantly until she took action and got rid of the armor. Thematically, I liked that, but there was nothing to inform that scene because the original Chekhov's gun scene, like here's the armor that this goddess had,
Yeah.
it really didn't play into why that happened. You know
Right.
what I mean?
It's just sort
like,
of there. Yeah.
yeah.
I think
Did
it like
she-
deflected like 2 cheetah scratches. That was
Yeah,
about
but
it.
then she was actually tearing through the armor.
Did she take it off?
oh yeah,
she
no,
eventually did. Yeah.
I thought she was still wearing it when she walked into the room with
she
Max
took off the
Valor.
helmet and wings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she was still wearing like the rest of it, which was
Yeah.
just looked like a bodysuit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you liked the implementation of the armor, but not how it got there or the way it looked.
Yeah, there was no lead up to explain why that was kind of important. So it just felt like this cool one-off scene that didn't relate to anything else in the movie, and it really
Hey.
should have, because that was kind of the point. It was like they were tying into the idea of she was so busy trying to protect herself emotionally. You know, you could have easily tied into that because that's kind of the same thing. She was so busy protecting herself emotionally that she was vulnerable. And unfortunately, that vulnerability is what got her in trouble with wishing Steve back and
Yeah.
and crap like that. The armor was the same thing. All she was doing was defending herself, trying to protect herself, and all she was doing was losing the fight.
Right.
You know, until she took the initiative and took charge. But none of that was ever, you know what I mean? Like, you have the scene with the golden armor, but the whole Chekhov's gun part of that is just, it failed. There was no link to show that.
It almost
like, it wasn't there.
Yeah, it almost seemed like she didn't even really need it.
Exactly.
I feel like it was there to
But
sell
that's
an
the
action
point.
figure.
But-
or-
well,
yeah,
of course,
yeah.
that too.
I was about to say
that too, but
they're still
thematically,
toys.
that's the point. It
Right.
didn't. She didn't need, it. And that was the whole point with protecting herself emotionally. You could have easily tied those things together, but they didn't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Okay.
that
Yeah, I
just
was about to say that like there was so much merchandise based on that suit and
That was the poster, right?
poster.
Yeah, I didn't like the armor. The
the
way it looked wasn't appealing.
Poster, Lego figure, McFarlane figure, Funko.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be like the highlight of what she was gonna wear in the movie.
Watch the thumping.
Oh,
Okay, so end of the movie.
Yeah.
What did you think? Honestly, I mean, we talked a little bit about it. It
You know,
wasn't her fighting some behemoth version of
I appreciated that.
Maxwell Lord. I did too.
appreciated that
Yeah.
it wasn't just a big slugfest. I mean, I think that has failed us in modern media. I
Mhm.
mean, the end of like Arkham Asylum, amazing video game, amazing Batman video game, and the ending,
you fight Mutant Joker.
you fight
It's-
Mutant
it's
Joker, which
yeah,
was
Hulk Joker.
dumb,
Yeah,
so
steroid
forgettable.
Joker, yeah,
Thankfully, it wasn't enough to actually ruin the rest of the game, but it was just
Mhm.
bad.
yeah.
They didn't do that in this, which is what I thought was going to happen. He was
Right,
going to
right.
basically wish himself to be big and powerful or some stupid thing.
That's a theme that I like that they carried on from the first movies, right? So in the first movie, she's supposed to be a warrior, but
Right.
she's supposed to be like nurturing and like peaceful, and that carries into this movie. Like she had to fight Ares. That okay, fine, I get that. At the end of this, she didn't have to really fight anybody besides Cheetah.
Right.
But obviously, the main villain is
Yeah,
Maxwell Lord. If you can
Right.
even call him like a villain, really.
Yeah, he was not. He was way too sympathetic to be a true villain.
Yeah, but she didn't have to kill him. She didn't have to fight him. Like, he
Right.
didn't become all powerful to where they had to face off or anything. She just talked to him, and I was like, okay, honestly, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
That seems very indicative of her
I like
character
that.
as they built her.
Was
in
it
the first
hokey?
movie.
Like we've mentioned before, with everybody renouncing their wishes?
all right.
Yes.
But that's what I mean about it being sort of 80s, is that it's
We'll
a
get
little
you to
bit
that.
hokey.
Go ahead.
The thing that bothered me the most about the plot, how Steve Trevor came back. Basically, Steve Trevor possessed another person,
Yeah, I thought that was a little weird.
and Diana sleeps with that
Well-
guy. I'm like, okay,
Did she sleep with him?
yeah.
Well,
Well,
I
it's
know they were
suggested-
like cuddled and they were like together, and they just didn't.
I
could be
think it's
wrong.
They
implied.
got
Okay.
PG-13, but at the same time, like,
I think it's pretty much implied. She's like, Steve, whoop!
that's still
They're
someone.
right into bed.
Yeah, that's still someone else in another person's body. That's not.
Well,
Sensual.
I mean, that's a little weird.
Well, it-
Possessed somebody else.
Actually, you probably didn't know this, but that part of the movie ties into Soul. If you've seen Soul,
no, I haven't.
I have
never mind.
Okay.
I've
Steve
been
Trevor's
twice, but I haven't
soul
seen it.
fell into the body of
Right.
another person. That's how it happens in the movie. So we'll talk about that on another episode.
Okay.
Soul.
Okay. Anything else that
Oh.
just made you crazy about that movie?
Crazy in a good way or crazy in a bad,
Bad way.
It's 2 hours.
It's 2.5 hours.
It's 2 hours
It's long.
plus. Honestly,
And it started to feel long.
yeah,
I think
honestly,
it's part of the problem.
a lot of the good balanced out the bad.
Yeah, I
Just balanced it, not tipped the scale, just balanced it to
Yeah.
where it was an entertaining enough movie.
And I know a lot of people did not like it.
Mm.
And I think that's because of the tone. Like they just, there's a point in that movie where you have to make the decision that you're on board or not, and if you don't do it,
Mhm.
you lost it. I mean,
Right.
it's not. I think you said this earlier. It's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
But there is a point where you're either on board or not.
Yeah,
Yes.
And I think most people were not.
yeah.
I thought it was just-
And I decided to get on board because I'm like, it's a movie about wishes. I'm on board. Let's go.
I just
You
love
know?
how you were sitting down and you're just like, oh, there's wishes in here. Okay, cool. I know how to feel now.
I know how to
I
feel
know how
that,
to
right.
feel
That's
about this.
exactly right.
I know what mindset to be in.
Right,
There's a
yeah.
wish in this movie.
The Invisible Jet felt more like
That was kind of cheesy.
it felt more
That
like
was-
something thrown there for fan service, for fan comics, rather than
Yes,
something
yes.
that's significant to the plot.
Right.
Kind of like the Oxygen Destroyer in 2019.
Oh my god. Don't get me started. Get on Godzilla for freaking hours.
Okay, so just overall, would you recommend this to people to watch?
Yeah, I would. I would say, if you want Zack Snyder's darker universe, don't bother. If you want a superhero movie that feels like a comic book, go for it because it's not as bad as you might think. It's definitely hokey and cheesy, but I mean,
It's fun.
hokey and cheesy in the right ways. I
Yeah.
think. I mean, like I said, I know somebody that said tone deaf because the whole thing she was pining over the guy for that many years. But my defense to that is, you're not talking about like ex-boyfriend that jilted her or some crap.
Yeah.
You're talking about like the love of her life that died. It's a little there's a little different emotional strings there.
You're talking about
Right.
a woman that was sheltered on an island
Right.
with no men, and then
Right.
met her first love.
Turned out to be an amazing human being.
Yeah.
Not just some dude who cheated on her.
Yeah.
Or
It's
just
not
some
like a philander.
Not like
or
me.
anything.
This Steve Trevor's like a good guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not just some dipshit.
Sure.
Ooh. But yeah.
That's a new ice cream flavor.
Don't get us down monetized.
Right.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have enough viewers for that yet. But
I would.
good looking out,
Good
though.
looking.
Good looking out.
I would tell people to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you already have HBO Go, then
check it out.
don't check it out. I think there's enough on HBO Go to where if you get it to watch Wonder Woman, there's like a million other things on there.
Yes.
I think there's enough on there to
Oh,
justify paying for.
They just
HBO
added a
Go.
whole bunch of more DC stuff, and it's
Added it.
now to the point where I think the DC Universe streaming service is now plugged
Pretty
off
much.
because it has
on,
everything. Actually, it has more than what the DC streaming service has. So
By the way, if you want us to watch one of the other DC movies so that we can talk about them, good or bad, let us know.
Zack Snyder cut.
That's the only way I'll watch any of these other movies is if you make me watch it for this show. If I have to watch it for this show, I will
like
sit down.
Superman
I like
4.
Superman 4.
For what it is, I like it.
It's a cheesy canon movie.
When he walks into the United Nations, that is an impressive scene.
Yeah.
I mean, just
Nuclear Man, he just scratches him.
he's terrible. Mark Pillow's greatest role.
Although canon at its best.
Yeah.
So we'll have to talk about canon at some point.
Wow.
That's an interesting
There's
story
a
right
whole,
there.
There's
yeah.
a whole documentary, the Boogie Boys or whatever.
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo, yeah.
That's a great documentary.
Yeah, I would recommend people to take a look
Especially
at it if they
kids.
can. Yeah, I think it's a great movie for kids.
Don't. If you have kids, don't be your jaded comic booky self
Yeah.
and deny kids the joy of seeing a movie that's kind of fun and superhero.
Yeah.
Don't no, you know what? Don't deny yourself.
Right.
Right? Like I know
It's
we're
too late
all
for some
old.
of us.
We're all old, jaded nerds. But just leave that behind and watch this movie. And I think you'll enjoy it a lot more than you think.
I recommend it. Just keep your expectations low. It's not as good as the first movie.
It's a
movie about wishes. Yeah.
Here's a wish movie, everybody.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. That should have been the tagline on the poster. Wonder Woman 84. It's a wish movie!
It's about wishes.
Exclamation point.
Wonder Woman wishes that she wasn't in 84.
Oh.
That's what it should be called.
Anything else before we get out of here? Call it a night.
No, then you guys have any recommendations? Or anything?
Cyberpunk is
Hey!
when you can play it. I don't understand what a lot of the criticism is about. I mean, I get where they're coming from, but I don't think they're judging it as a story. They're judging it based off of expectations of certain characters without understanding that those characters exist to serve a story.
Sure.
John Silverhand being a prime example. That I know there was a lot of criticism about him. The story's good. Johnny Silverhand is a jerk. That is absolutely true. He's a very incredibly obsessed, self-centered, incredibly selfish human being. But there's a story there too, and you have to play the game to sort of see that. Anyway, I would recommend that. There's something else I was going to recommend. I don't remember. What do you got?
Well, right now I'm playing Final Fantasy 14 still, but I'm in the expansion known as Shadowbringers, which so far story's good, but I heard from what I've been hearing online, basically Shadowbringers, the expansion alone, is as good as a single title Final Fantasy. Like it's as good as Final Fantasy 7,
That's
6.
cool.
I'm like, okay, this expansion better blow my mind.
There you go. What do you got?
I got HBO Go to watch this movie, and because there's a whole bunch of other stuff on there, I just started watching a cartoon on HBO Go, Close Enough, which is pretty funny. It's got Jason Mantzoukas. I watched it. The only reason I jumped on it was because Jason Mantzoukas is in it. Jason Mantzoukas is hilarious.
He's great.
It's from the same creator as the regular show.
It is, yeah. So it looks like regular show, but it's a lot more adult. But it's I've only seen like the first 2 episodes. It's very.
But it's not adult for sake of being an adult. It just deals with semi-adult stuff.
Yeah.
Situations
Yeah, there's
and
cursing in
concepts.
it, stuff like that. So like, don't watch it with the kids, just because
Right.
it looks like regular show. But it is funny. I enjoyed it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Should we sign off? Do I have to leave the comic book store now?
Well, we all have to at some point.
I'm still gonna live.
I gotta keep playing Shadowbringers.
There you go. All right,
All right,
guys.
so
That's
thank you so much for
Yeah.
joining us once again for this thorough and methodical discussion about Wonder Woman 84.
1984.
1984.
This one right
This is a good
here.
year. I was born in 84.
Were you?
Yeah, so
Okay.
all those events took place the year I was born.
Wow.
Yeah.
84 was
History's crazy.
84 was the year of the last technically Showa era Godzilla movie and the beginning of Heisei era.
That's right.
And one of the best of the Heisei era.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway, thank
I don't
you.
know. I found that movie boring personally, but the fight with him and Super X is pretty good.
We have to have a Godzilla instead of Hitler. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
We really appreciate it. Hopefully, we will see you next week
See you on the flip side.
to see what else we're going to talk about from our beautiful dark.
That's right.
So, and I'm going to sleep here, so I'll see you guys later.
All right. Good night, everybody.